One thing which has kept all of us thinking since last year is our health. Before COVID, we were able to hit the gym. We were physically moving inside our office premises. There was some level of physical movement. We are going out. We were meeting friends. So we were pretty physically active. But because of COVID, I think all of that has now stopped. No more we are able to hit the gym probably that frequently. Some of us are going, but not everyone. We are not going to office, so of course our physical movement within the office premises has been restricted. Now we're sitting in front of the laptop the entire day. We're not going out that frequently to meet our friends and family. So in a nutshell, the physical movement level, the physical activity, that has dropped massively. If not for you, at least for me, and I'm sure there are a lot many others. Is when I thought that we should get an expert who can give us the right direction. And that is when I came across Chitwan Gar. Chitwan is director of Crush Fitness Gym and is also an upcoming social media influencer. A lot of her content is around fitness and health tips. If you'll ask me, trust me when I say this, that Chitwan has definitely not painted her professional career using a single color. Post her completion of her MBA, she worked with an HR consultancy for almost 5 years, and is when she realized she had to take that leap of faith and follow her passion. Chitwan is a national basketball player, so of course, fitness goes along with it. And is when she realized that she wants to pursue her professional career in fitness. In this episode of Just Parv, Chitwan will talk a lot about the myths around diet plans, how we can scale up our intensity of workout, and everything fitness. I'm sure you're going to like the content. Trust me, post this podcast recording, life has changed, if not completely, but significantly. And I'm sure it will change for you. For now, this is Chitwan Garg on Just Parv. Hi, Chitwan. Welcome to Just Perf podcast. It's an honor to finally have you on our podcast. We've been discussing this for such a long time, and I know your schedule is really tight, but thank you so much for taking time out.
No, thank you so much for having me. I also feel honored and it's a pleasure to interact with somebody like you. So definitely a win-win for both of us.
Sure. So it's a just per tradition, Chitwan, which we follow. Uh, while I know that you are a lot into fitness, and I'm not really sure whether you like the question or not, but still I'm going to give it a shot. You might kill me for this because I might just end up ruining your diet plan. But it's a small tradition which we follow. We give two food
Okay.
options to our guests, and they choose one food option, right? Uh, it was tricky for me because these two are like my
Okay.
favorite and was difficult for me to decide. But let's see what your
Hmm.
answer is. Okay. So
Okay.
if we give you an option to choose between chola bhatura and rajma chawal, what would you go for?
Hmm. Well, you're not serving any of it to me right now in real anyway. So my answer doesn't matter. But yes, I eat Rajma Chawal quite often because it's a rich source of both protein and carbohydrates. So I would go for Chole Bhature because I really like it and I don't eat it that often. That's why.
Great. Your journey has been pretty interesting, right? From being a consultant to now an entrepreneur. And at the same time, you're now entering in the world of social media influencer, right? You definitely have not painted your professional life in a single color. It will be great if you can share your story with our listeners.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm an MBA, and I'm an MBA in finance and marketing, but that's nothing related to what I do right now, at least not directly related. So I started my professional journey by being a human resource consultant with a multinational firm, and worked with a couple of similar firms for about 4 5 years, gathered some experience, some on-the-job learnings especially about business development, sales, key account management, and client relationships.
Yep.
And at the same time, fitness was something that I was very passionate about because before starting my corporate journey, I was also an athlete. I have played basketball at a national level, and I was
Wow.
also a professional dancer my entire life. So I was always directly or indirectly related to fitness or a healthy lifestyle throughout. And
Sure.
during these few years of my corporate life, that lifestyle kind of completely went for a toss because of reasons that were beyond my control. And
Absolutely.
then I thought that how can I, gather all my learnings of my job together and create a solution for the world that actually enables people to get easy and affordable access to wellness. And
Right.
that's when Crush Fitness India was born. And it's we are completing 5 years today. Although I did not join it from the time of inception, I joined it when it was already a couple of years old. But I'm a part of the management now, and we're trying to, as I said, the real motto of the organization of what I do at Crush Fitness is to make fitness affordable, easy, and fun for anybody and everybody, regardless of where they are at in their fitness journey.
Right.
So that, and while that was happening, I also started creating content for social media, especially on Instagram. And the creative side of my brain was kind of, those creative juices kept flowing while I was creating content. And
Yeah.
especially after the lockdown, I used to have some extra time on hand because I used to save a lot of time due to, office travel and all these things. So when I started getting a good response from the audience on social media, I started doing that, alongside as well. And it kind of played a very good role with respect to Crush Fitness, because the content that I was creating on social media was also around wellness. And
Absolutely.
it kind of went hand in hand with my business. And now I'm working with some well established brands on social media as well. So yes, it's been a wonderful journey, and I plan to continue doing it this way, till the time where I can.
Sounds good. And we're going to touch base more on the social media influencer bit in a second part. But I'll jump
Sure.
straight to our main question, considering that we're going to
Okay.
keep it very crisp. Uh, there are
Yeah.
so many diet plans which are currently doing ground, right? There's intermittent fasting, there's keto,
Mhm.
there's liquid only. I mean, you name the ingredient and there is a diet plan around it. To understand this from a layman's perspective, how good or bad are these diet plans really are? Do you really need to follow a diet plan, or is it okay if you're not following a diet plan?
See, we have to keep it crisp, so I will not get into the details or pros and cons of each of these different diet fads or diet
Yeah,
types. But the bottom line is that the diet that you follow has to be something that you're happy with and has to be something that you can sustain through the year. So
absolutely.
if you're consuming a diet which is helping you get a rapid weight loss in, say, a few days, but then the remaining of the year you're not able to carry on with that, then that is not sustainable. And that weight loss, instead of being profitable to you, actually can turn out to be detrimental, because rapid weight loss which is not sustainable makes your body devoid of certain essential nutrients that you otherwise need for the functioning of the body.
True,
And apart
absolutely.
from that, it definitely affects the metabolism of the body negatively. So I would say the right diet plan is what works for you through the year and what keeps you happy and satiated, along with meeting your fitness goals. So that is the most important thing.
Thank you so much for, these are like some inspirational words for me. I've always been confused as to, do I really need to follow any diet plan? And, problem is that whenever you are following something, there are always so many people around who will give you their 2 cents, which really makes it difficult for you to even think whether you're on the right track or not. But thank you so much for that. This takes me back to one of the posts which you had shared on Instagram, where you had posted something around a burger and you said, is it okay to eat a burger or not? And then in the comment section you said it's perfectly fine. So can
Yeah.
we capture your thoughts around whether people are always confused, should I eat something which is really unhealthy, or should I stick to just fruits and not move to
Mhm.
anything else? Just wanted to capture your thoughts
Mhm.
on that.
Okay. See, when it comes to nutrition, I'll come to the burger again. I'm so happy that you remembered something from my post. See, when it comes to nutrition, it's very important to understand what your goal is. Like, for example, first you have to, like, it is a step-by-step journey, right? Your
Absolutely.
first step is to define your goal. If your goal is fat loss, right, then that means you have to stay in a calorie deficit, which means that you have to consume less calories as compared to what you expend during the day.
Right.
That is step 2. Now step 3 is how do you reach that goal? That happens through a well formulated and well structured training plan, supported by a well structured diet that is sustainable, and that is not something that makes you feel devoid of your favorite foods. Now, fourth step after that is, when you know, for example, you've identified that, okay, for the next 30 days, I have to stay in a calorie deficit, which means that on a daily basis, I need to have 1500 calories, hypothetically. That means throughout the week, if you count throughout the week, which is 1500 into 7, that is technically 10,500 calories. I'm correct, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. 10,500 calories is what you need to have during the week, right? This is how you plan. Now,
Yep.
if you're, I'm not heavily promoting calorie counting, but it's important when you start your fitness journey. Now,
Right.
in that week, you need to have 10,500 calories. Within that calorie, the next step is to have the right macro distribution, which is
Mhm.
how much protein, how much fat, and how much carbs you're having. These are the 4 most important things when it comes to a weight loss journey and designing your nutrition plan. Now, for example, if I know that I can have X amount of carbs and X amount of proteins during the day,
Yep.
I can work my way around making a burger in those macros, right?
Sure.
So it's all about planning well, it's all about prepping your meals, and it's all about consulting a professional. Now, if I'm not a professional, see, I can say all this to you because I've studied nutrition,
Yep.
I've studied training, so we both can talk about this. But if you're talking to a layman, he or she would think burger is not a good thing to
A
have,
good thing to eat.
whereas it's
Absolutely.
it's a good thing to eat, provided you're fitting it into your macros, and provided you're actually going for healthier options. Like instead of a deep fried patty, you can use an air fried patty.
Right.
Instead of regular cheese, you can use low fat cheese, which fits in your macros. So there are different ways to work around it, but yes, the bottom line is a burger is not bad to be had.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners would be so glad right now. And I'm sure they've already started ordering food for themselves. But you talked about a balance between workout and diet, right? And usually,
Right.
whenever someone starts following a diet regime or really gets into that mode of working out, uh, they're really
Mhm.
not able to identify how to balance the intensity of work, right? And it's so common, and we've been hearing
Right.
since our childhood days. You go to gym day one, you work out like anything, and next day the person is not seen around the gym for sure, right? So how should
Yeah.
one try to scale up their workout, their their schedules, and what kind of timeline should one plan to really scale up the intensity of the workouts they're doing?
Great question, Parv. See, when it comes to starting training, it also depends on what your background in fitness has been, or what your history in your fitness journey has been. If you're somebody, so I'll start with a very basic,
Yeah.
example. If I'm somebody who has never worked out seriously a day in my life, I've stayed, relatively fit or healthy due to an active lifestyle, but I haven't really trained properly in my life before, then it's very difficult for me to identify what my right training plan is on my own. Like, I can read
Yeah.
all the blogs that I want, but that's not going to help me understand what works for me and my body. So the
Sure.
first and very important step for such a person is to consult a professional. And by consulting a professional, I mean a certified or an experienced trainer who also has adequate knowledge of nutrition, or an organization which is doing something similar.
Right.
Consulting a professional does not mean consulting your friend who also goes to the gym, because that friend may or may not be a professional. So that's the first step. Now, the second step is, as I said, to identify what is the right training plan for you. A well structured training plan is always better than doing random workouts. I see so many people just switching on YouTube or just switching on a fitness app and chalo, aaj I'm doing a Zumba workout. Okay, tomorrow I'm doing an
Yeah.
HIIT workout. Fine, today they're doing yoga, let me do yoga. It doesn't work like that. It's not just about movement. Yes, movement is important, and your even your non-exercise movement is important, how much you're walking during the day, etc. But when it comes to training, when it comes to losing fat, building muscle, chasing certain goals for your body, it's very
Yeah.
important to have a training plan that suits your body. So if somebody starts working out again, ideally a training plan that makes them do some kind of resistance training 3 to 4 times a week to start with, and say a low impact training, a low impact workout like a slow jog or a walk twice a week apart from that, is something that generally works right for a beginner. But at the same time, it still can vary from person to person depending on various factors, like what is their resting heart rate, what is their BMR, what kind of food they are eating. So there are so many factors that it becomes important to consult a professional in these cases.
Right. 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 Absolutely. Uh, Talking about the workout plan, right? And you said that we need to have a proper plan in terms of the kind of workout we are doing. Of course, it
Right.
cannot be yoga one day and then Zumba the second day, and third day it's just cardio or whatever.
It can be. I'm sorry to interrupt. It can be that, but
Yep.
it may or may not be that for everyone.
Okay. Okay. Got you. Got you.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, there are so many people, and I I actually fall in that category back in the days where we are not really able to differentiate how much of cardio do we really need versus how much weight training we need to do, right? There was a point in time I clearly
Hmm.
remember I was only running or just cycling, and I wanted to lose weight, but it just ended up burning. I just ended up burning myself, right? I couldn't really see a great impact. Versus when I started some weight training, I could see the impact faster, right? So just wanted to capture your thoughts as to what kind of balance should we look at, or is it okay if someone is just into running and they don't really do, heavy weightlifting, not even heavy weightlifting, just like lightweight training also. One just focuses on cardio, or we need to have balance between both.
Well, you answered my question before I could answer it by sharing your own experience. So you tell me first, why did cardio burn you out, and why did doing only cardio not help you? What was your experience?
I think when I was doing a lot of cardio, I ended up becoming more weak, right, physically, and that people are able to tell you when they look at you and they say that you're looking weak, you're not looking healthy. So people tend to lose weight, and if you're doing weight training, that the look on the face in itself defines whether the person is looking weak or not. I think I burned a lot of my muscle instead of actually burning any fat. I could feel that my skin was very loose. It wasn't tightening up. Versus
Mhm.
now, when I started weight training, I think a lot has changed.
Okay, yeah, that partially answers the question itself.
Okay.
See, I'll give you an example. Doing only cardio to lose weight without doing weight training is like eating your salads every day without eating your protein and carbs. So that's how food works. That's exactly how training also works. So any kind of cardiovascular activity is definitely good for burning more calories. So if you do a 1 hour of weight training versus a 1 hour of cardio, you might see more calories burned in the cardio session in your fitness tracker.
True.
However, what really happens when you do weight training is your metabolism becomes better. So while even when you're not doing weight training, even after that, you continue to burn calories through the day.
Mhm.
Whereas during doing a cardio workout, you only burn calories during that time. So overall, doing only cardio and not weight training slows down your metabolism over a period of time. And also, as I mentioned before during this chat as well, resistance training is very important to build muscle, and
Yep.
building muscle is very important for your weight loss journey. Because see, when you lose weight, when you lose body mass, you either lose fat mass or muscle mass, right?
Mhm.
And when you start rapidly losing body mass, you tend to lose both. So if you're doing
Got it.
the right form of resistance training along with enough protein consumption, then it helps you preserve more muscle mass and lose more fat mass. So it's very scientific, it's very direct, and it works for everyone. And doing weight training is not equal to bodybuilding. It's not. I mean, I do weight training. I've been weight training for 4 years now,
Right.
and I don't know what you think, but I don't think I look like a bodybuilder. Even if I do,
No,
I could look like a
no,
bodybuilder
absolutely not.
if I want to. If I want to compete. Yeah, huge
No,
respect for people who compete. Their goals are different, but weightlifting necessarily doesn't make you look like that.
sure, sure. Got your point. Uh, Moving on
Yeah.
to the last part of this section. Uh, there are so many 21-day fitness challenge plans, right? Uh, and you just log into Instagram, and that's primarily, a lot of it is also because everyone's logged inside the house. The gyms are not really opening up, and people are working from home. So what's the maths behind this 21-day fitness challenge? While I do understand, I'm sure there is an impact, but what's the science behind this 21-day fitness
Mhm,
challenge? Yeah.
mhm. See, it's a challenge. It's a challenge for you to show up for your health every day. It's a challenge for you to move every day. It's a challenge for you to be a part of a community and show up for that community every day. So, a challenge could mean anything. What is wrong with some of these is organizations claiming a specific objective or a specific goal achievement without any proven track record of success that applies to multiple people. So, for example, I saw this ad the other day. I'm not going to name the organization, which
Sure.
says go sleeveless in 15 days. So, and they had shown, you know, somebody with a lot of fat over here. Um, Suddenly having a very lean and toned arm in 15 days, according to me, scientifically, that's misleading the audience. That is wrong to
Absolutely.
claim, because not everyone can lose that much fat in 15 days. It's not possible. And what is the guarantee that if I join that plan, I will be comfortable wearing sleeveless in 15 days? So like, this is something, these kind of marketing, terminologies are used to attract the audience, but they are not scientifically true. But yes, when you're saying that, and also like when you're saying that join my 20-day challenge and lose 6 kg weight. Again, that is something that's not right to claim, because you don't know who is the kind of person who will be joining the program, whether they have the right kind of metabolism to lose that kind of weight. First of all, 6 kg weight in 20 days is ridiculous. It's not sustainable. The right scientifically, you should be aiming for around 0.75 to 1.2 kgs a week for sustainable weight loss. Um, versus an organization simply saying, look, here is my 21-day or a 30-day Kickstarter fitness plan or a fitness boot camp. All you have to do is to show up for yourself, and that is your challenge. And all you have to do is come move with us, and that
Yeah.
is your challenge. Short 20-30 minute workouts, and they are carefully and scientifically planned and made in a way that it has the right mix of resistance training, cardio, intense interval training, so that it becomes a good, a well charted out fitness plan. See, that's a good way for somebody to start their fitness
Yep.
journey. I wouldn't say that you keep doing a 21-day fitness challenge over and over and over again
Yep.
and still achieve a goal that is personalized to you. No, that doesn't happen. But yes, it's a good way to, you've never worked out, you don't know how it feels to do different types of workouts.
Yep.
You at least start, you try to explore, and then probably, okay, like, this is what my body is capable of doing, this is how much my body is capable of moving. Now
Yep.
maybe I'll consult a professional or a personal trainer to understand how I can lose 5% of body fat in the next X months. Like, setting
Sure.
realistic goals.
Yep. Yep.
So definitely these challenges are helpful for people who are looking for a reason to have that like-minded community to move with each other.
Yep.
But the organization claiming a certain number of kgs of weight loss or any other bodily goals, that's something that I personally don't feel right.
And is there any science or logic behind 21 days, or is it just another marketing gimmick, or does is there anything which is very specific to 21 days?
No, there is no science behind it. It's just 3 weeks. So 21 days is technically 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just 2 weeks sounds too less to actually see any change in your activity, and 4 weeks sounds too much of a commitment. So somehow this 21-day has kind of become a trend, but I personally don't feel there's a science behind it.
Well, that brings us to the end of split one of our episode of Just Parv with Chitwan Garg. I hope you liked the content. Like I said during beginning of the podcast, things have improved for me significantly, and I'm sure they will improve for you as well. In part two, in split two of our episode of Just Parv with Chitwan Garg, we will be talking about those basics of social media. I think a lot of us have that question as to how do I become a social media influencer? Or if not, how many times do I really have to post on Instagram or on Facebook so that I have more followers? Right. So Chitwan will be talking a lot about social media in our split two. I hope you liked this episode. Please leave your feedback in the comment section. If you like the video, click on like button. And if you have not subscribed to Just Parv till now, please do subscribe.